Hey guys, wow, just wow. The last few weeks have been absolutely crazy. They've been unprecedented, and this whole mess that's going on in the world really has me thinking and stuff. And I almost didn't want to make this hair update video because it seems almost kind of frivolous to talk about my hair during a time like this. But at the same time, you know, we got to get away from watching the news 24/7 and scaring ourselves to death and get back a sense of some normality. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my 7-month update on my second FUE, and I'm going to give my thoughts on this whole, you know, coronavirus thing that's going on in the world right now. So let's get right to it. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Moises. I had an FUE procedure done in August of 2018. And then a year later, I had my second FUE done. And I'm now 7 months post second FUE surgery. So I'm going to be discussing the results of the second FUE. And as you can see, so far, wow, it's looking really nice. It's looking just super. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. It looks awesome. I have natural light here. I'm in my apartment, but there's good light coming through the window, so this looks pretty much the way it would look, you know, if I was outside. So let me zoom in for you guys. So I had 650 grafts done in my second FUE. And it's amazing because you could never tell that I had surgery. It just looks pretty natural. I mean, if you're another FUE patient or if you're a FUE surgeon, obviously you could tell. But to the average human person, you would not be able to tell that anything had been done to my hair. So let's see. I'm zoomed in, but let's see if we can get even closer. That's really about as close as I can realistically get. But yeah, just check it out. So running my hands through it, I'm gonna try to open it up like that. Looks pretty dense. I mean, I have thick hair, so obviously that helps. But at the same time, when you have like thick hair, you know, there's the chance that it can come out looking like wires, you know? Because, you know, when you have fine hair, it just kind of, I don't know, flows really pretty. So there is a downside to having thick hair. It can just come out looking all wiry and crazy, but this looks really nice. And yeah, I'll show you guys how it looks on the sides and back. All right, here I go with my little twirly whirl. See, there's like no evidence of any surgery. Run my hands through it. I'll show the back. Same thing, my hands through it. Looks good. And the other side. Bring my hands through it. It's looking really good. Super good, if I say so myself. And I just did. So this coronavirus has everybody scared, and it's understandable. I mean, everything's different. I mean, there's that stay-at-home lockdown thing going on. A majority of people, you know, can't go to work unless you work in the essential industries, you know, the grocery, the pharmacy, law enforcement, and stuff like that. So our whole way of life has like changed in just a few weeks. It's like we're living in an alternate dimension. It really feels that way. It's like, what's going on? And people are asking, like, when are we going to go back to normal? Well, the thing is, I don't think we're ever going to get back to normal. I mean, is the way we were living really normal? I mean, that world we were living in where people, you know, they're born, they go to school for 12 years, then they go to college. Why? Well, it's just the thing you do, right? You go to college, you come out saddled with debt, like $50,000 worth of debt. And then you get a job you don't really like. You work for what? 40 years at a miserable job. and then you retire, and then once you're old, you're supposed to start enjoying your life. And basically, we've been doing this now for a few generations. That was considered normal. I don't think we can go back to that. I think our society is really going to start changing after this. A lot of people are at home. They're starting to think, the wheels and the cogs are turning, and they're like, do we really want to go back to the way things were? And just hear that phrase, going back. No, we can't go back. We have to go forward. If there's anything good coming out of this coronavirus epidemic, is that I think our society is going to change. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but I think we're going to go through a transformation period in this country and on the planet. You know, how do we want to keep living for the next 40, 60, 100 years? Because the way things have been going, we're really not sustainable. And this, you know, this mass consumerism, you always see on the news how they say, oh, Christmas sales are up, Christmas sales are down, Christmas sales are up year after year. Well, for how many years can you keep going up? It's like, it's not possible. You know, eventually there's going to be a reset, and it seems that we're in that now. So me and you, yes, I'm talking to you, we're here to form this new society, this new world. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I do know is that this whole thing, you know, this whole epidemic, this whole shift that's going on is kind of like a test. It's testing your humanity. You know, when you're in line at the grocery store, at Target, trying to get the toilet paper, just know that the person in front of you, the person behind you, that's you. They're human too. You need to see the humanity in that person in front of you, in the person behind you, because we're all in this together. And as long as we help each other out, we're going to get through this, and everything's going to normalize eventually to the new normal, which should be a better normal than the one we were living in. Because, you know, you see the freeways in Los Angeles and how they were always packed. Now they're empty. You know, there are good things to that. There's less pollution. I saw that in Venice, Italy, the water's turning clear. And that's only in a few weeks of us changing our behavior. When I was walking to the supermarket about 3 days ago, I live in an area where there's like a lot of I live in Silicon Valley, which is technically a rich area of the world. And so as I was going into the market, I heard this guy that owns businesses. He was like a CEO. I don't know him. I just heard him talking on the phone, and he's like, yeah, well, you know, with this lockdown, we've realized that we were doing a lot of traveling, and a lot of that wasn't even necessary. Like, we're getting stuff done over Skype and video chatting, and like so much stuff is getting done that this is kind of like a good thing. We've realized we don't need to travel so much. We don't even know if we're going to go back to the way things were. So this was some rich businessman talking to some other rich businessman saying, you know, maybe we have to change the way we do things. You know, another thing is like the schools are locked down. It's the year 2020. In my mind, in the year 2020, kids should be learning through video, through the computer. There should be way more of that. This whole thing of sending our children to school to physically be there to learn is kind of like a dumb, archaic way of thinking. We should have been starting to do, you know, video learning for our kids 10 years ago when the technology was already starting. So maybe this crisis is an impetus for a better society moving forward. We can't just think doom and gloom, guys. And we gotta, you know, look out for each other, you know, because we're all in this together. And technically we're all brothers and sisters. You know, all of us might look different, but, you know, even science says that, you know, thousands of years ago, like many thousands of years ago, you know, 10,000 years ago, we all kind of descended from the same tribe of people. So we are all related. We're all in this together, and we need to, you know, really show who we are now, the good parts of us, because it's easy being a good person when things are good. But it's right now in these times of crisis that you really have to show that you are, you know, you're not a jerk, that you can be there for somebody else. And that's what we're being tested on. So don't fail the test. You know, be the best version of yourselves. That's what this world needs right now. We don't need jerks. We don't need assholes. We need everybody to be the best version of themselves, and we can get out of this crisis, you know, as soon as possible. So if you're still watching this and you haven't clicked off, just know that's not a mistake. You were meant to hear this message, okay? So just know that you have the strength to get through this. I have the strength to get through this. And for the weak ones in our society, you have to stand up for them, you know? For the old ladies in the market that can't reach something, hey, be like, hey miss, can I help you? You know? That's how you will influence and change the world. You know, it starts with us. So go ahead and do your part, and we'll get through this together, all right? So that's the end of this video and my little rant. I'll be making another video in another month, or maybe I'll make another one of these motivational videos for you guys, because right now there's a lot of darkness, and it's up to each of us to be the light. All right, guys? So my name's Moises Amaya, and I'm out.